Good morning, everyone. It is Saturday morning, and I wanted to get a video out before I left for the MTSU football game today. And I know everybody is going to, of course, go, then come back and watch the Michigan-Notre Dame game and finish your online assignment. I know. It's maybe not a lot of you are going to go out there and brave the weather, but I have tickets for one of the suites, so I'm going to be inside today, so I'm going to the game. So anyways, here's my agenda. And, I know at first it's a little bit hard for you all to want to kind of put yourself out there and ask questions. So I've gotten ones initially to me. What I'd love for you to all get over is the imposter syndrome. For the rest of your lives in technology, you're going to feel like an imposter. I know that. I see it in other IT professionals that have 10 years experience. They still feel like they don't know anything, and that's because things are moving so fast. So once you realize that everybody else is in the same boat as you, it becomes a lot easier and a lot more fun to be part of the tech community. So in this class, what I see is 15 students that are all about the same level. So asking a question, you should not feel dumb about that. So don't be afraid to ask questions and just put yourself out there, and let's, as a group, learn predictive analytics and data cleansing and how to really do data science for business. Okay. So communication. I've had a couple of you email me, and finally this morning I'm starting to see the Slack messages. Here's why I like Slack over email. With email, I get bombarded by everybody. That includes administration, faculty, all the other stuff. And a lot of times at night, I'm not dying to look at those emails because I want to sleep well at night. And the last thing I need is to look at something after a certain point when I'm trying to wind down for the night. But looking at a message from a student doesn't make me lose sleep. It's actually something I encourage. And so if you send me something through Slack, I will definitely read it. But by about 6 or 7 o'clock at night, I usually shut down the email for the night. I'll get the last couple out, and then I want to move on to my family and things like that. But answering a quick Slack message is absolutely 100% something I'm willing to do at night. So don't be afraid. Let's do all of our communication through Slack. So just to make this very clear, looking at Slack, if you were to come here and select my name and start typing, you can send me a Slack message directly. So don't be afraid to do that. I could right now, I see Jacob, I'll just say, hello, Jacob. And so right now he's going to get a message. I am only sending this as an example in my video today. So poor Jacob is going to get a nice little message from me. There you go. And now I'll get out of that. And so anyways, that's a... send that message. I get it immediately on my phone, on my iPad, on my computer, and I am, of course, happy to answer those questions for you. So please, that's the best way to communicate with me. All right, so with our online assignment versus homework. Online assignments are meant to be a way for you to get exposed to something. So again, it's not about you fully understanding what you're doing in the online assignment. It's about getting over the fact of how to do something so that in class I can tell you why we're doing something. So when you do a pivot table and you don't understand what you just did in the online assignment, that's okay. Bring those questions to class or send them to me as a Slack message, and I'll be sure to answer that. I know I've had one student send me a couple of messages saying, I don't understand what this part is, and it's not that I'm putting you off, it's just I intend to talk about that in class, and now I've written down those two questions, and I will for sure answer those in class on Tuesday. Okay, when it comes to importing data, let me see if I can quickly get an example. I think I've got one up, or I could just go to our online assignment if I have to. Let me go to the online assignment. And when you import data, as you can see right here, when you set index column to 0, what you're actually doing is setting the first column to be an index. And when you do that, you can't actually use that in a pivot table. So I know I've had a couple of people that have had problems using email in the pivot table. So when you import something, if you know it's not an auto number or a member ID or something, but it's actual data that you want to use while analyzing your records and things like that, then you want to set index column to none, header equal to 0 if there's a label. And so you can see, let's see if I can show the difference here. Go ahead and I'll take a look at my head part of insurance. And then if I do the same thing for the one where I set column equals 0, you see that one right here. You see how it's all in bold? That means it's an index instead of an actual column. So please watch out for that as well. Okay, so that's a little bit on importing data in case anybody has a problem with pivot tables. Okay, how to get unstuck. Probably the number one thing that's going to happen is you're not tying back to your data correctly. So a lot of times people will do a part, and I'll just go to here. This is the presentation, different things about my videos. And I'll have students that will do something for pivoting. Okay, so now I'm going to take a look at an example here. And one thing you will see is if I was to go ahead and try to execute something and it was misspelled or lowercase, things like that, that's normally the first problem. So a lot of times when people send me just the error, what ends up happening is I can see the error, I understand it, but if I don't see the data, it's hard for me to know if it's right or wrong. Also, make sure that when you do something, for example, you change something here. So here I'm actually showing you, I won't show you all of it, but I've got something that I did. Actually, this one way up here is a better example. When I create this, and if I change F, that doesn't mean convert FC changes. You have to re-execute that. So notice I've got here, I do it, and then it's automatically done here. So those are little things that you always have to remember is when you put a new value in a variable, you're then going to want to re-execute the different code that is reliant on that one variable. Okay, what else we got here? Oh, and then to get unstuck, I want to again remind everybody that in D2L, I create these videos more to get you unstuck than to teach you something, because everything in these videos we're going to cover in class, and but I know there will be times you'll get stuck. So if you have problems with importing and exporting data, you've got a video that says importing and exporting data. So take a look at this stuff, see what it's telling you. If you're pivoting and melting a data frame, you are pivoting, then make sure that you watch that video. If you're looking at comparators, you have a video that shows you some different things with comparators as well as if-then statements. You need to watch these before you try those in your online assignment. That's the point of these videos. And then when you start your homework, these are here to help you. Okay, and then lastly, how do you submit your assignments? Something that I just want to make clear, I've had a couple of questions on, is again, remember that this that you see is nothing more than the local files on your computer. There's nothing in Jupyter that isn't also on your local computer. So everything you see here tells me I'm in my Dropbox folder. That's for BIA 6920 CHA 2019 Fall Presentations Workshop Materials. So if I come here, click on those same places. Here we go, 2019, and then what is it? Presentations, then workshop materials. You'll see that this is exactly the same as what you see here. So then if I knew that I wanted to save something, for example, I'll just grab this video module 2. If that's my homework assignment, this is my Jupyter notebook that I finished. I have my data in this folder here. All I do is take this file and I go and compress it. Now, I know it's a little bit different on a Windows PC, but you are zipping the file, so it should be creating a .zip like I've got right here. And then this is what you're submitting in through D2L for online assignment 1. Okay, so hopefully that helps you out. I hope to get some actual questions next time. I know the first week is a little bit tough, and I understand that. I'll tell you what, I'm gonna give some incentives here. So by the end of the semester, I want to give everybody one of my fancy shirts. We got some shirts for the Data Science Institute. See, I've got our data science logo, and we've got some cool stuff on the back. I'd love to be able to give these shirts out to my favorite students, which means since you're my only 15 right now, you're my favorite students. And so if you ask a question, I might say, hey, what's your shirt size? Do you like charcoal or blue? And in class, I'll make sure I bring some shirts for you all. And by the end of the semester, hopefully I've given everybody a shirt. So that means be active on Slack. Don't be shy. Ask questions, because I guarantee you, I feel that every one of you is starting pretty much at the same place. So let's bring everybody up at the same time. With that, enjoy your Saturday, rainy day. And remember, online assignment 1 is due Monday night, so you still have a lot of time. And then your homework 1, keep working on that, looking at solving a problem for Appleton using the CRISP model.